Hi, my name's Jesse Lawrence, and myself and Owen Honey will be doing the presentation of some of the questions that we've been sent in and the answers to go with them. Some of them are quick and simple answers, which I'll be answering, and some of them will be answered by our consultant Owen, who'll be doing some demos, taking you through the step-by-step of what's involved with those. So the first question is how to post transfer between GBP and Euro bank accounts. So this is done via the general journal. So what you need to do is create two lines, one line in one currency as a debit against an account, and a second line in another currency for the credit of the amount that you're transferring it to. And just to bear in mind, you may also incur bank charges, and so those bank charges you will need to ensure that you are creating a line for those as well. So very often bank accounts charge you for transferring between different exchange rates. Second question is how to create pro forma sales invoices. Now, there isn't exactly a pro forma sales invoice document. However, you can achieve a pro forma invoice by printing reports run via other areas of the system. So, for example, through a sales order or a sales invoice or even a sales quote, you can basically create sales documents. So, depending on what you need, you can create those documents and send them across. Next up, for allocating received payments to the customer account on Sales Ledger, is there an easy way to allocate this for several hundred invoices rather than using register customer payments and manually selecting each posted invoice to allocate, such as an Excel import? So you can actually do this via a cash receipt journal. Using the applied entries function, it allows you to map payments to multiple invoices, as seen in the screenshot. Okay, so this is a good question about using the functionality within the Dynamics and Office 365 workspace. So it's how can I connect Power Query to GL entries for refreshing in Power BI? So what you need for this is web services, which you can find within Business Central. If you search for web services, opening up the web services, you'll get a whole list of different web services. So for this particular question, it was about GL entries. So here in the screenshot, you can see object ID 261 is for GL entries. And this is where you would connect with that feed. Now, this is obviously quite technical. And if you're not sure what you're doing with this, then we definitely recommend that you talk to your partner about this. For example, if this were to come in through one of our customers, we'd be able to help with setting up that feed to Power BI.
Question. Attaching document files to payment journals. Is it possible? In this demonstration, I will show you step by step how we will achieve this. Firstly, we need to search for payment journals. I will now go through and fill out the payment journal as normal by inputting an external document number, a vendor, and a vendor account number. I'm also going to change the payment method code from cash to bank. I'm going to then enter a payment amount of £1,000. The next two fields to change will be the balance in account type and the balance in account number. Balance in account type we need to change from GL account to bank account. We then need to input a balance account number. Once we have inputted this to our payment journal, we then need to go through and apply the entries. To do this, we need to go back up to the ribbon, click Home, and Apply Entries. We then need to select an invoice to apply the payment amount of £1,000 to. I click Set Applies to ID, and then we're going to click OK. Then to add files to the payment journals, we then need to open the fact box pane on the right hand side, as you can see here. We then need to scroll down. We then need to scroll down to where it says incoming document files. To then attach files to this document, you need to click on the drop down arrow and click attach file. It will then ask you to insert a file. Once your document has been attached to the payment journal, this is now ready to post. Before I post, I'm just going to do a preview post to see if there are any errors. No errors were shown, so it looks like it's ready to go. I'm going to go post and post the journal. Once posted, we then need to search for general ledger entries. I'm going to go back up to the magnifying glass and I'm going to search for general ledger entries. I'm going to filter the posting date in ascending order. I'm going to filter the posting date in descending order. As you can see, the most recent payment, document number G04008, is the payment journal that I have just created. We then need to open the fact box of this page, and as you can see, the incoming document files has brought through our attached document. We can also double check this by going and searching for the bank account ledger entries. So if I filter by posting date in descending order, as you can see, our most recent payment journal is there. If I then click find entries to this page and view the GL entries, we can see there our payment amount from our payment journal of £1,000 to this bank account. What we can also see is within the fact box, the incoming document files, the document we originally attached. It is also worth noting that there is this incoming document related entries that has been created. If you click on the one of this page, it will bring you the incoming document card. This is where you can view the main attachment, and you can download the attachment.
So what version of Business Central do you need to have Power Automate features? Well, the easy answer, and anybody who's seen our recent newsletter will know that the easy answer to this is always, if you're on the SaaS version, you will have the full accessibility of the latest features, and that includes the Power Automate features. So if you're on the SaaS version, this will automatically be updated when Microsoft issue new release. So we've just had the 2024 release wave 1 that came out in April, and the next one in October. Now they are continuing to add functionality, so the levels of connectivity and the ease of which you can use Power Automate within Business Central has varied over time. Please bear that in mind with the next answer to the question, which is if you are on premise, then you need to have release wave 1 2020. However, obviously, depending on which version you are on will determine how much functionality you get. Also, there are certain updates that are coming out from Microsoft that limit the amount of capability that's been added to the on-premise. So we very much recommend that if you want to use the latest features and functionality on the marketplace. We know for those companies that have been using on-premise solutions for a long time, there have been many different reasons for putting off the move to SaaS, but actually we feel that generally speaking now, including with our own internal system, that it is worthwhile moving to the SaaS platform because of the sheer volume of updates that are coming that will only be available to the SaaS platform. If you need an upgrade, please do contact us and we'll be able to help you with that. We are currently offering free assessments for upgrade assessments. So contact us and we will do what we can to help you get an idea of what's involved with doing an upgrade.
To create items in a bulk and copy of items in a bulk is a little bit more complex. We need to start by searching for config packages. In this example, we would create a new one. However, I've already got a config package card already set up and created. So once you've got your config package card created, you give it a code and you give it a package name. In this example, I've got item and copy of items. The next step is to put in the table ID of the table you want to get the data from. In this example, it's the item table, so it's table ID 27. It is worth noting that the number of fields available will be populated, the number of fields included are populated, and the number of fields to validate will be populated upon the acceptance of the table ID. We then need to export this out to Excel. This will then give you an Excel sheet with all your existing items. So once you have then modified your own list of items, you've copy and pasted, for example, here, copy these in a bulk, and then we want to paste them back in. Now, it is worth noting that you need to change the item numbers so they're not the same. So in this example, okay, we'll also format the table. Essentially, once you've finished your changes, make sure you save, and then you can close the config package down. The next step then is to re-import the package that you have just modified back into Business Central. So we want to go there, we want the package. You will then be faced with this page. Do not stress because the text is in red. This means that it is good to go. So we're going to click import. I'm going to click yes. Okay, so then Business Central will give you a pop-up message to say the config package has been imported. Now we need to apply it. Before we do any application, I always validate the relations by going to Functions, Validate Relations. This is just so that if there are any errors, I can spot them early before deploying straight into my data, my live environment. So as you can see, one table has been processed and no zero package errors have been found. In that case, it is now ready to be applied. So I'm going to go up to the header. I'm going to go in the ribbon, Apply Package. And I'm going to click Apply Data Package, yes. So as you can see, one table are processed, 8 records inserted. So now all that's left for me to do is go to the item list, search by item. And as you can see here, my dummy items have come through. They have been created. My test copy of the actual items have now been displayed. If I was to search by item, bring up the item list, and as you can see here, bulk of my items that I've gone and copied from the existing item list have all been displayed here. Question: can I create a finance charge for a vendor? In this demonstration, I will show you step by step how we will achieve this. Firstly, we need to search for payment journals. The first field of interest is the posting date, which in this example I have set to today's date. Second field of interest is the document type. By default, BC will set this to payment. However, we need to change this to finance charge memo. We also need to fill in both the document number and external document number. The account type in this example will be vendor, and the account number will be a vendor of your choice. The description field can be amended manually. However, in this example, we will leave as is. We then need a payment method code. In this example, I use bank. The payment reference is optional. It is worth noting that the amount field must be a negative value. If it is positive, then BC will error. In this example, I have set this to -£15. We then need to add a balance account type. In my example, I have set this to be GL account. Therefore, we need a balancing account number. These are all the fields that we require in order for this payment journal to post. Upon posting, it is good practice to preview post to see then where the entries will go. For example, 4 entries are going to the GL entry table. Now that I know that there are no errors, I am going to post this payment journal. I am now going to search for the vendor ledger entries. Now I'm in the vendor ledger entries page. I'm going to search for the vendor number. As you can see, the 2 finance charges for this vendor have been posted and now show in the vendor ledger entries page. To conclude, this finance charge has made an entry against the vendor.